If you're visiting New York for the first time, make sure you watch this video because I will be sharing all kinds of tips that you need to know before you go. Not only that, but stick around to find out what not to do when in New York City. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jasmine. Thank you for joining me. Let's go. New York is one of my favorite destinations, and once you have been, you might just feel the same way. There's so much to see and do. Its bustling streets are a whirlwind of activity, and there are world-famous sights around every corner that make it a destination everyone should experience at least once. When it comes to planning a trip to New York, it's hard to decide what you want to do, especially if you have a limited amount of time. My top sightseeing spot for your first time has to be the Empire State Building. Go to the top where there is an observation deck that gives you 360-degree views of Central Park, the Hudson River, the Statue of Liberty, and the Brooklyn Bridge, and make sure you pack a wide-angle lens if you want to get as much in as possible. Oh, and bring a warm jacket, it's so windy up there. Next on my list would be to check out Little Italy and Chinatown. These are two of my favorite neighborhoods here, and as luck would have it, they are right next to each other. Take a stroll around and grab a coffee and see the differences in the neighborhoods. They're such cool areas to see. Next, head over to Chelsea and experience the High Line. It's one of the coolest things to see here. This place shouldn't be missed on your trip. It's a 1.45-mile linear park built along a disused high-rise railway line above the city. So it has some awesome views. It's a completely free, non-profit public space, which provides a touch of tranquility to the city that never sleeps. Oh, and it only takes around 30 minutes to walk the whole thing. When you're finished walking over the High Line, head over to the Chelsea Market, the perfect place to wander around, shop, and eat. And it's a prime place to do a food tour. Hit up the flea markets here and have a great time hunting for some vintage treasures. It's another one of my favorite things to do in this amazing city. Next up has to be a visit to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, pay tribute to the lives lost in the tragedy. It's a very moving and emotional visit where you'll hear really interesting personal accounts and lots of objects that were recovered from the scene, which just makes it all the more real. The fountains where the buildings once stood took my breath away. I felt real sorrow standing in the presence of where so many died, and I've never seen anything quite like it. So beautiful and sobering. Just a word of warning. Bring your tissues. Now, no trip to New York City is complete without a visit to the iconic Central Park. It's the most visited urban park in America, a popular tourist destination and one of the most filmed locations in the world. You can rent a horse and carriage to take you around, walk, or you can hire a bike. When I went, we hired a bike taxi. The guy who took us around was absolutely hilarious and really informative, and to be honest, made the experience 10 times more fun. It wasn't too expensive, and if your feet are killing from all the walking, I would highly recommend doing this. Some other top attractions I don't want to miss out are Times Square. It's an iconic part of New York and deserves a spot on any New York must-see list. Also on that list is a visit to the Grand Central Station. It really is grand. You should definitely take a stroll through and have a look around. It's free to enter and a great place to people watch. Lastly, head over to Brooklyn, walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, and grab a coffee over there. It's one of the best budget-friendly things to do, and if you're visiting with your partner, bring along a lock and add it to the collection near Manhattan Tower. Take some iconic pics on the bridge and then head over to the famous Dumbo, down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass. In Dumbo, you'll find a collection of galleries, theaters, and coffee shops dotting the cobblestone streets, so be sure to have a wander and grab a coffee. Now, let's talk about places you might want to skip. Times Square can be overwhelming, super expensive, and just way too touristy and in your face, and some people don't like that. If that's you, then consider leaving this one out. Instead, explore neighborhoods like Soho or Brooklyn for a more authentic experience. Another thing I will say is, you really don't need to go up to the top of both the Empire State Building and the Rockefeller Center. Once you have seen the views from one and got your pictures, you don't need to do it again, so you can just pick one of them. New York City is a city that never sleeps. And for first-time travelers, it's a city that guarantees an unforgettable experience. But because it's home to so many people and tourists all packed into a small space, New York is a city that runs on etiquette and unwritten rules of conduct. So knowing these rules before you go will genuinely help you out when you're there. I wish I'd have known about all of these before going, that's for sure. I consider this one of my most important tips for first-time visitors to New York. And that's to use the public transport. Seriously, I walked everywhere and didn't use it once, except a couple of taxis, so my legs ached so bad. It was raining pretty much the whole time I went and even snowed on the last day too. I was too scared to take the subway at the time, but I wish I'd used it. Taxis are expensive and are so slow due to the traffic it's not worth it. And the subways are faster and much cheaper. Whilst you will want to walk around New York, it's best to limit your walking to smaller neighborhoods, and there are some rules to follow when walking around the streets. The most important one is, don't walk too slow. Yes, you will want to be looking around and taking it all in, and yes, you are on vacation, so if you want to take it slow, then you should, but it doesn't really work like that here. Remember, walking is the main method of transportation for most New Yorkers, which means they're walking with a purpose, and you getting in their way is the same as being stuck behind someone driving 25 on the freeway. It's also a major no-no to stop in the middle of the sidewalk. Just step aside out of the way if you do need to stop for anything suddenly. Another thing is to check the weather before you go. If you are visiting towards the end of the year for Christmas, like I did, you should know it gets super cold and often rains and snows. You will need to pack layers and a thick coat, so bear that in mind. If you didn't already know, New York City is a tip-based economy. Many people who provide services here don't get paid well, so you will be expected to tip anyone from taxi drivers, hotel staff to bartenders and waiters. Depending on the service you received, typically 15 to 20% is expected. Because tipping is expected here, it is essential to carry cash on you for this reason, and not just that. Whilst credit cards are accepted in most places, you don't want to be caught off guard when you've just ordered the most delicious slice of pizza, only to find out that the shop is cash only. One last thing I'll mention is that before I went to New York, a lot of people were telling me to be careful. It's really dangerous there. But honestly, I felt 100% safe at all times. There wasn't one occasion where I felt uncomfortable or anything. So if you're worried about safety here, then you don't need to be. As long as you're as vigilant as you would be anywhere else, then you will be fine. So there you have it. New York City is a whirlwind of excitement and an amazing experience. And with these tips, you will have the perfect trip. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, stay safe.